Bruno, my boy. Bro, I appreciate you coming on to this podcast as if it's a podcast. It's not. Question and answer session to see. So other people who are thinking about joining Level Up, you can explain all the benefits. Don't explain any of the negatives and why they shouldn't, and just convince them to join Level Up. I hope, Bruno, you understood the sarcasm there.
Definitely.
So what I'd like to start with, bro, is do you want to just tell people, like briefly describe the offer you're on, or if there's a few offers, like what other offers you're on, like what you do?
Just that. So basically what I do is I help, there's this influencer we work with. We're like group partners for the coach. So the coach focuses on coaching and content, and we focus on everything else, marketing and sales. So I happen to be the sales guy for this particular coach, right?
What's the offer, bro? I think so people know exactly what you selling.
Okay, so basically what I sell is it's a coaching program, all right? It's a coaching program which has a course, community, weekly coaching calls that teaches people, brand owners, agency owners, how to properly run Facebook ads.
Perfect. So actually you're selling something that is fairly, let's be honest, it's fairly commoditized. There's so many people selling that same thing. You do have, I always ask people, what is the unique aspect of your business compared to others? And now you're selling for someone, and actually the unique aspect of your offer is the owner, right? The CEO. And that's why people are really buying into. Where you were maybe before starting Level Up, or even just starting with closing paid stuff, and then where you are now in terms of confidence, your ability, your how much money you make, from start to finish.
No problem, man. So first, when I started, first of all, we're not taking a lot of calls. I think first month I did about 3 sales, took about $900 in commissions. The next month, some of the split payments came in, but up until starting closed and paid, the highest I'd ever taken in commissions was 5,400 in commissions, right? But when I did close and paid, I remember that month I hit Richard up. I was like, Richard, holy shit! It was in August, right? Richard, I was like, bro, I have had more paid in fulls than I have had in my entire sales career. Like, I mean, I don't have a very long sales career, right? I don't have a very long sales career per se, but since I've started doing this thing called sales, I've had more paid in fulls than I've had that month. It was the best month in terms of revenue. It was the best month in terms of sales. It was the best one for me in terms of commission. And guess how much I did that month, right? I did $16,800 in sales. That was it, right? Now it could have been a fluke. It would have just been a 1 month thing. The next month I did 14,700, and this last month, October, so that's August, September, October, I did 17,800 in October. So in 90 days, within 90 days of going through the close and paid Level Up platform, I've taken home about $48,000 in commissions. And here's the crazy part. I live in a third world country, Nigeria, so it's not like I live in a first world country. The good part of that is I get to keep all the money I make. I'm not paying any taxes. Please, my government shouldn't see this video. I'm not paying any taxes to that. So all that money is coming into me cash. That's number one. Number two is that, for someone where I am, that's a lot of money, right? That is a whole lot of money. Most people that I know of are not making that money legitimately. But here I am doing that amount of money, done that amount of money in past 3 months. And I can do that from literally my laptop here in freaking Nigeria. So that's my experience so far, man. And I guess the question would be, if I had the opportunity to do it again, will I do it again? Hell freaking yes. Like, hell freaking, knowing everything I know now versus what I knew then, would I do this again? Hell yes, man. Like, it's a no-brainer question. It's a trick question. Like, why wouldn't I freaking want to do it? And I told you, Rich, like, I have worked with, I've been through a lot of sales coaching programs. I'm still going to buy more in the past because learning never ends. And I felt like it was the cheapest I'd ever invested in. When you said the amount, I was like, are you shitting me? Like, is like, are you?
Bro, you have to be. No, I was going to say. So people listening, Bruno was one of the first people to join our program. So the first kind of 5 people we let people apply. They were on. It might as well have been free,
Yeah.
especially compared to what Bruno paid. But I think for me and Ryan, the reason we did this has absolutely benefited us because we were able to test out the program, the whole level up program, and apply things and have our students apply stuff. And Bruno, I think, was the first person who just took it, applied straight away, and found the effects within 1 month, right?
Yeah.
And so now,
Yeah.
Bruno, you don't know how much they pay right now, bro. It's like 10 times
it,
a
it's
lot.
it's it's worth it though. It's worth it. And you know what? I think the most important thing was the fact that I actually applied it because I remember that month, all I did was on the calls like this, I would literally have the script in front of me and I'll just play like an actor, right? And just read it out. I'll just like literally just read. And you know the crazy part, Rich, was that we only worked on the beginning. You know, right? We didn't we up till now we still haven't done like the full thing, right? We still haven't done like all of that. It was just literally the introduction
I I
part
I
of it.
want I want to add a caveat to this because it's actually true. Like I've seen it with you, and I've seen it with a few others, where all we do is go, here's an intro, Bruno. Make sure you start the calls this, like this, collect this data. And then here is you setting the intention. So make sure they know what you are trying to do on the call. You did just that, and you had this incredible increase in close percentage and cash collection across the board. But one thing I want to say on top of that is the reason why you did that is not just because you applied those two, but you apply everything else that's in the course generally and my tweets. So you're
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
actively learning and then putting it into place, which is why
yes.
like the middle of your calls and your questioning and stuff was pretty good anyway. So you
Mm.
just add these little things and structure and boom, you know?
It was magical, man. It was magical. Like, bro, imagine going from like where you're doing like 5K a month to the first month you're collecting sixteen
Mm,
thousand eight hundred. That is the most like even people who work really good jobs here, they don't make that money in a freaking year. Like in 1 year of doing this, they don't make that amount of money, bro. Close and pay changed my life. It's whenever I see your tweet, whenever you roast me on the TL, I'm like, yeah, man, just do your thing, man. Like, you're the boss. Like, just do your stuff, man.
bro, I really do appreciate it though. I am absolutely, I'm really happy for you as well. It's amazing to see. I used to live in India for many years.
You told
I
me.
lived a high life out there. I had money, etc. But I understand what it's kind of like for people to live in a third world country and how hard it is to kind of get out there and make that type of money. And you've proven it, and you're proving to more people just like yourself to go and do it. Um, I'd like to ask you though, what like if we were to name 3 things that you've taken from Level Up that you applied and you feel like they are, staples for you, they really changed what you did. What would they be?
The first and foremost is this, and I tell you all the time. Look, tell them on the call that you're looking for a no or a yes. Richard, this shit is so phenomenal. Like, bro, bro, like I first when I heard it, I thought that was like the most salesiest thing ever. Like
Mm,
people like you're so jittery, like and literally what I did, the trick I did was I stopped looking at their faces and I just read the script. So I will
mm,
put the script in front of the screen where their camera is supposed to be showing their face, right? And I don't even see their face. So all I just do is just say, read the script and then just tell them. So, at the end of the call, all I'm just looking for will be for you to tell me a no or a yes, right? And works like magic. And the cool thing is they get to the end of the call and they're like, oh, I know you said you're looking for a no or a yes. And I'm like, yeah, you could just tell me no, like it's fine. Like, I
There's
no
another
is fine.
person to speak to in a minute.
Yeah, like just tell me no. All right. So it's not a no. It's not a no, Bruno. But Okay, and then I kind of like help them out. But the beautiful thing is that by letting them know that you're looking for a no or a yes, something it does to the mind is that it forces them to know, and I'm either going to make a decision or not, right? And that's one of the best things that has happened for me. So that's number one, right? I just implemented that and that changed the game for me. Number two is this. One thing that, when I did a lot of sales training in the past, there was a lot of wishy-washy, fluffy-like statement, right? But one thing I learned was, you're very, it seems like your style is like very direct, right? Where you ask certain questions, and then another thing that I learned that was really powerful from you, from your tweets and all the other tweets was that, you talk about the fact, you discuss alternatives. Like, hey, listen, like if you want to solve this singular thing, right, there are other cost effective ways of doing it. All right. And I'm just saying this because, and then you soften the statement like the way you normally do. And
Mm,
what that does is that it just elevates the trust that they have for you. So I'm
mhm,
just going to, and I do that. I'm like, hey, listen, if you want to solve this small problem, I wouldn't be able to justify you spending thousands of dollars to solve
mm,
this small problem if this is what you're trying to solve or trying to achieve. If you have bigger goals, then sure. But if this is the issue, then there's a much more, I feel there are most cost effective ways in the market to do that. All right. So these three things, I think, literally, and like you said, like look for the no. So you're actively looking for the no. It's not a thing where we say, oh, we're looking for a no or a yes, but psychologically you're trying to look for a yes. It's like I'm really looking for a no or a yes. Now I'm gonna add one more. I know you said three, but I want to add one more. Number three thing that I think that changed my mindset when I worked with you, Level Up especially, was I remember coming to you one day and I said, hey, Rich, I think you asked me a question to fill out in that form. It took me a while before I
mhm.
filled that out. You asked, you said, what happened in your brain that made you realize that a prospect or a qualified prospect isn't just anybody that has money? And I was like, bro, because I be getting on calls with these people and I realized that the fact that they have money is not enough reason that makes them a prospect. And there are certain things that signals to me that this person is qualified to be my next customer. If those things aren't checked out, then money is just one of those things. There are a lot more important things on the table than just money. And we worked on that, and that really helped me to know who I'm looking for on a call. So those are three things that changed. Number one is looking for the no. Number two is discussing alternative and actually looking for the no in the conversation, the push away and that kind of stuff. And number three is knowing who your ideal prospect is and what makes them qualified. Those three things changed it for me, man.
Bro, that last one's a really good one, right? Because I keep thinking about this. People do not have this ICP. They don't have a list of exactly who this works for and who we work with. It's amazing when you ask someone. I asked you, and
At the
to
beginning.
start with, you couldn't even give it me detailed. And for everyone listening, Bruno, about 1 month later, could have been a bit longer, he just suddenly told me all of these points. And it was as if something in between his brain had gone, oh shit, that's what he's asking. And then he gave me all these answers, and I was like, Bruno, do you now understand what we're doing here? And he was like, yeah, bro, now it's fucking clockwork, Because
Yeah, yeah,
if you
actually.
know who you're working with, you can then easily formulate questions around it to find out if that
Mhm.
person fits this model. And guess what? If they don't, you can actively tell them.
It felt so like it was later on that, when we now worked on it that it now clicked and I was like, yeah, this was a missing piece because at that point you're trying to close everybody that has air in their lungs and has money in their in their account, and you find out that you get to the point and you're now salesy. You're almost like you're begging for the sale, right?
Mm,
Meanwhile, if at the beginning you qualify who you're looking for, all right, and you're certain and very clear on who you're looking for, then you can know this person is either going to buy or not. And if they're not going to buy, likely they're not the person you're looking for, because the person you're looking for will likely want to buy, right? Because you're solving the problems that they understand that you're solving. So these things are things that click later on, it's part of the learning process. And
for
yeah,
sure, for sure. Where do we see Bruno in the next 12 months, bro?
bro, I mean, in terms of commission only alone, I want to get to the point where I think I'm doing 30 to 50K realistically. That's my aim a month in terms of that. Also, I think in terms of understanding and mastering the sales process, I want to be like I want to see if I can. I know it's almost impossible to get like a 10/10, but I want to massively improve. For me, first of all, the most important thing is improving those skill sets where not just on my offer, but understanding and internalizing the process itself is now part of my habits, right? And then taking this to anywhere I find myself, basically. So the result of that will now be better commissions, that kind of stuff, improved closing rates. Yeah, that'll be it.
Right, I think it's good to see. I know you invest in yourself continuously, even though you got great results with us, and you still kind of ask questions, and we still talk about things. I know you still invest in other things, and you're continually learning, which is what most closers, especially when beginning, should do. But finally, Bruno, just to end, like if someone is thinking about doing level up, they're on the fence, what would you say to them, bro?
It's almost like
Abuse them in
I'm just gonna be
Nigeria.
frank. I'm just gonna be frank with you. Like, listen, you'd be out of your mind not to work with Richard. And I'm not saying this because he's here. Like, I don't care if he's here or not. I tell everybody who seeks to listen that you couldn't pay me not to work with them. I'm serious, man. Like, you couldn't, because here's the thing. It's not about the amount of money I make in commissions. Yes, that's good. I'm not gonna lie, like that is really good. It's the fact that I know that any offer I go to, understanding this thing alone has changed fundamentally in my mind how I see sales, how I sell, my confidence, my ability to approach any sales process. And that you cannot pay me enough to have. And that for me is it. So if you're there, I'm going to ask you one question, right? What are you going to do with the money you have? Two options. You're going to spend it on something else. You're going to put it in the bank and it rots away, or you're going to invest it somewhere. The only thing that's going to improve the value of that money is investing it in something that's going to bring you more. And right now, that most important thing will be in your skill. And I do not know of any other person who can make that money worth more to you than working with Richard. And this is just me saying, I don't know about the other people you've watched or whoever it is you've worked with or heard. This is just me telling you my experience, and I'm telling you that it's absolutely 100% worth every dollar that you pay.
Bro, I feel like that was the best answer in the world, and everyone's going to be like, how much did Rich pay Bruno to say that? Because that was fucking spot on. But no, I'm joking, bro. I really appreciate it. I've done a few of these recently with other people who've done Level Up, and everyone's been saying very similar things. Massively appreciate it, bro.
It was worth it, man. Like, I don't know how to explain that, bro. I'm telling you that in the past 90 days, I've taken home $48,000 in commissions. Like, bro, if you multiply that by how much I make, how much the currency is, that is close to 50 million naira, right?
Bro, it's
Bro,
mad. Big
it
props to
is
you,
a lot of money, and I've done all of that from by just investing in myself. Oh, and by the way, I don't know how much the new amount is and what's there, but maybe we'll probably have a conversation after this. But definitely, I'd like to see if there's going to be like an ongoing retainership type of stuff. I just want to get better at what I do, and if it costs me a fraction of what I make, then why not?